Good morning. I'm Brian Bach, president of Bach Steam Star. We're here in Bach Steam Star Educational Headquarters here in Overland Park, Kansas, and we're joined this morning with Mr. Mike Deeth, owner of Kiss It Dog Training. And we're going to share with you this morning what every carpet cleaner doesn't want you to know, because let there be light. Every carpet cleaner doesn't want you to know how to train your dog correctly. That's what Mike does for a living. He's one of the best dog trainers here in the Kansas City market. In fact, let me go over some of the qualifications of Mike so you know who's talking with us today. He has a BA in psychology from the University of Kansas, 2 years trainer for PetSmart. He's a professional member of the Association of Pet Dog Trainers. He's a certified evaluator, AKC Canine Good Citizen. He's a contributing author of Metro Pet Magazine and a charter member of Heart, and also the author of the book, The Dog Owner's Book of Poop and Pee. Okay, so welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate you joining us today. And you know, Mike, obviously as carpet cleaners, we get into a lot of pet issues. In fact, I'd be willing to say that 50% of our business comes from the dog or the cat did something. So we thought we'd give back a little bit today and share some information with our folks, a little more on the preventative maintenance side of things, and how to keep your dogs from going in the house. Okay, so why don't we start out, number one, let's kind of general overview, why do dogs go poop and pee in the house?
Really and truly, the main reason why dogs poop and pee in the house is because the owners haven't spent the time to train the dog that the entire house is part of their den. If a dog lived out in the woods and lived in a cave, they would not decide to poop or pee in their cave. They would leave the cave, go do their business, come back home. So really the entire trick here is convincing the dog that the entire house is part of their den, and that the appropriate answer is to go out the back door or out the front door on a walk, or however you're going to end up doing it. And basically the secret, the $64,000 question here, is crate training. When a dog is in a crate, we don't want to poop or pee where we sleep. So we know, and we know we have a guaranteed win. Every time we take the dog out of the crate, the dog has to go. So now I can take it to the spot in the backyard where I want the dog to go, and I can get him to successfully go in the area we want, not in the house, which is, the issue most people are having.
Right. Excellent. Well, let's say it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then what? I know the conversations we've had, do you punish the dog or not?
Here's the deal on punishment. Just like every employee would tell you, if you've got a boss who is a quote-unquote punisher, what do you learn to do? You learn to avoid the punishment.
We put them in the crate.
Yeah, exactly. Stick them in the crate. The problem is when you punish a dog, they never are able to connect a past event with a present situation. So you come home and you find the little magic pile sitting there in the middle of your brand new rug. You start yelling at the dog. The dog doesn't equate the yelling and screaming to the pile that's on the carpet. It equates the fact that I now have an owner who is completely and totally unstable around a piece of poop. And what happens is the dog figures the easiest way to handle the situation at that point, since mom and dad always freak out whenever they find, stuff, is I'll just go to the back bedroom and
yes.
So you probably get lots of calls where the back bedroom or something, and usually this is where we find out that the parents have been rubbing the dog's nose in it, yelling at the dog, freaking out. The easiest way to handle it is if you find the accident, clean it up and move on. You miss the signal. And it kind of leads us into the next thing. Well, what are some of the tricks that people can use to get things going? Let's give the dog a better way to tell us they got to go to the bathroom, because almost all accidents are based off the fact that we miss the dog's signal. And a lot of dogs are really subtle. We don't even notice it. But if we hang bells at the back door and we classically condition the dog to ring the bell, just like Pavlov and the slobbering dog, I ring the bell, you let me out the back door. Now the dog has a guaranteed way of telling you I got to go to the bathroom.
Right. Fantastic. Well, let's move on to some of the tools to teach potty training. You mentioned the crate earlier. What about the leash and the doggy doorbell?
Yep, the doggy doorbell is kind of what we were just talking about. Their bells. basically every single time you say potty potty or go outside or get busy or whatever cue words you're going to use to get the dog to go outside, we take their paw, we ring the bell, and we take them outside. Usually takes less than 10 to 12 reps before the dogs start figuring out if I ring the bell. If you got a dog who's really stubborn and doesn't like ringing the bell, you can just smear a little bit of peanut butter on the bottom bell. So the dog goes over and starts investigating the peanut butter, the bell rings, you say potty potty, and we've got an automatic jump start. The crate is another great tool. I mean, obviously, if a client tells me I'm going to leave the dog in the crate 18 hours a day, I'm going to say that I have an issue with that. But for somebody who, you know, you want to make sure that there are no accidents. You know, that's probably, I guess, maybe a misconception out there. If the dogs, let's say, had 10 or 12 mistakes, 10 or 12 accidents, in the dog's mind, there are 13 correct places where I can go to the bathroom. The one that the owner so desperately wants, and the 12 that have accidentally happened. The fewer mistakes we can have in that critical time period where we're trying to teach potty training.
Yeah. Which is what?
You know, humans, you know, it's 21 times to make a habit.
Yeah.
I tell people that dogs, I think, is a little bit longer, maybe 30 to 40 times. So I think if people will invest 1 month, 30 days, and have no accidents by taking the dog out on a regular basis, using the crate so that they'll hold their bladder and bowels, you know, going out to the same spot in the yard, feeding schedules. We don't want to free feed our dogs and give them, you know, food, you know, all day, every day. We do all this stuff. If you can make it 30 days, you're going to have a dog who's pretty well potty trained. The last thing I would say is the other thing people don't understand is the use of a leash. Right. Is probably really critical. When you take the dog outside, you want to go to a specific spot in the backyard. You know, I've got 4 dogs right now. I don't want to have to hunt all over my backyard for all the surprises they leave. I would much rather have them go just in one spot. So if I take them outside and I go to a specific spot and I stand there and they're allowed to move around me, they're no longer distracted by the sights, the sounds, the taste, the touch of the entire backyard, because a lot of people will complain, I took the dog outside, it was out there for 15 or 20 minutes, it did absolutely nothing, and then 30 seconds after I walk back in the house, they have an accident.
Yes.
So,
yeah,
you don't need that much time. You take them out, you know, let them move around you, but you keep them in a generalized area with the leash. If they don't go within a reasonable amount of time, 6-7 minutes, we go back inside, the dog goes in the crate for 5 to 10 minutes, we put the leash back on, we go out to the same spot. It becomes a battle of wills at the very beginning, but trust me, it's a battle of wills the carpet will love. Because eventually the dog then does go. You can say, hey, great job, liver treat, liver treat, liver treat, and then take the leash off and play with the dog, because once again, now we're teaching, hey, business first, play later.
Most times they'll look for the soft surfaces.
Absolutely, it's why dogs love carpet. You know, it's this magic material that we call carpet, and they realize that when I pee on it, I don't get my feet wet.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, they like it.
They like it.
They're actually neat. Yeah. Great. You know, we deal not just with dogs, but also with cat issues a lot of times too. So can you talk a little bit about training dogs, and can cats be trained?
You know, yes, cats can be trained. There are people out there who do it. Unfortunately, I am strictly a dog trainer. The one thing I do know about the difference between dogs and cats, dogs drink lots of water. So when dogs go to the bathroom, their urine's going to be a lot more diluted.
Right.
So, you know, a dog stain's probably going to be a lot easier to get out than a cat, because cats don't drink near as enough water or as much. So you get a super concentration of urine. It's a lot harder to deal with. I know
yes. Yes, it is.
I know that, you know, one of the things I've always been told by vets and things is, you know, when you have a problem with a cat, the first thing I would recommend is get them in and check to make sure they don't have a urinary tract infection or they don't have a bladder infection. Okay. That can easily cause the problem. Number 2 is that we want to make sure that the litter box is clean, and there are multiple litter boxes in the house. You know, those would be the tricks that I know about cats. You know,
multiple litter boxes in the house. That's what I don't see.
Yeah, you know, you give them lots of options of where to go instead of the wrong where to go, and
so cats are basically lazy.
Well, you know, a lot of people will tell you dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Yes, there you go. There you go. You know, what do the homeowners do when the problem's been going on for a while? I mean, they've obviously built a habit the wrong way.
Well,
so what do you do there?
You know, dogs, their smell, you know, they think is somewhere let's say 30 times better than a human. You know, it's astronomically better. So just because you can't smell the odor in your house doesn't mean your dog can't. And just like every dog likes to pee on the fire hydrant because every other dog in the neighborhood pees on the fire hydrant, when you have a dog who's been having accidents in a generalized area, that's become their bathroom. It smells like their bathroom, they're going to keep doing it. If it's been going on for a long time, obviously the trainers of the world want that phone call, but they need to be calling somebody like you with, you know, Box Team Star to get back to ground zero, you know, so that we can train past that. Because if I teach them all the greatest things in the world about potty training, but there is still the smell of the bathroom in the back bedroom, the dog is still going to continue going to the back bed, you know.
Send mixed signals, basically.
Yep, you know, so it's one of those where, you know, really and truly, when you're having a horrific time with potty training, the two things that you need are a good, trustworthy carpet cleaner, and you need a dog trainer that can help you get out of it. But, you know, the carpet cleaner is the first thing you got to get.
That's a good answer. Okay, I'm sure everybody listening out here, Mike, wants to know, I mean, what you've talked about this morning makes complete sense, but can you give us some general pricing on training, what it costs? And
sure. With most potty training issues, if it's basics, you've got a puppy, you want to learn how to do it, obviously you can get the book on Amazon, you can get the book on Barnes & Noble, also at the website at kissdogtraining.com. If you need me to come out to your house, I can do private in-home training. It's usually about $80 an hour.
Is it usually an hour session,
you know,
several sessions? Or,
I would say a couple of sessions. You know, I always warn people that, you know, I don't ever guarantee dog training because I train owners, not dogs, and I can't guarantee that the owners are going to do what I tell them. Right, but, you know, the dogs already know how to do everything. Right. We just have to learn how to ask.
Right. Sounds good. Well, that seemed very affordable to me because it might be a little more expensive calling us, to be quite frank with you. And that is definitely probably something every carpet cleaner doesn't want you to know. We have our guys here this morning with us as well. I don't know if there's any other questions that anybody wanted to ask Mike this morning.
When you take your dog outside, when they give you the signal, I have a 3-acre yard, so I don't go out with a leash just to let him go to one spot. I don't have to worry about cleaning up after him. What's a reasonable amount of time to allow them outside to do their duty?
5 to 6 minutes.
5 to 6 minutes.
You know, the thing is, it's easy. It depends on how you train your dog. The best example I can give is apartment dwellers. They fall into this trap all the time where they have to take the dog out, they have to go on a walk, they have to get the dog to go to the bathroom. Well, what's the dog want more than anything? Dogs like walks, okay? But the apartment dweller takes the dog out, the minute the dog goes to the bathroom, they take him back inside. So now you have a dog who's starting to use their little mind and going, you know, I think I'll just hold it because I want to get my walk. So next thing you know, you've got a dog who's holding it for 45 minutes to force a walk and driving you absolutely nuts. Whereas, you know, if we think about it the right way from the very beginning, business first, play later, you go to the bathroom, then I take you for a 20-minute walk and we're done. Don't let them choose to just wander around for 25 minutes. Hey, look, go to the bathroom. If not, you know, hey, I'm going to put you in the house. We're going to go back in the crate for 5 or 10 minutes. Not as a punishment, but because I want that bladder and bowel to swell a little bit so that the urge is a little bit more urgent the next time you go outside so that we get the right choice, not the wrong.
How do you get them initially to not fear the crate?
You know, dogs naturally are den animals, so it would be, I think, kind of an abnormal behavior to dislike the crate right off the bat. You do see that sometimes with puppy mill dogs. So if you adopt a puppy mill dog who's been stuck in a crate their entire life, potty training can be a real bear, and that's where, you know, calling a trainer would be a really smart choice. But, you know, one of the things I recommend is if you simply feed the dog in the crate for the first 2 weeks that you have it, we're associating a super positive part of the day
give them a treat or something.
With, yeah, you know, and it's, you know, hey, if you go in the crate, here's your reward for going. I also recommend that, you know, whoever the dog is bonding with best, you know, throw a pair of sweats or a t-shirt or something with that scent in the crate so that it's easy. You put the crate in an area of the house where the action happens. You know, dogs are social animals. You know, you don't want to stick the crate down in the basement in the, you know, far left corner, you know, where nobody can hear the dog. But, you know, the feeding in the crate is probably the easiest way to classical condition liking it.
Good idea. Well, Mike, I appreciate you being with us this morning, and why don't you give your website address slowly?
www.kissdogtraining.com. stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid Dog Training.
And you also have a little t-shirt
Yeah,
operation too.
We do.
That,
we have a t-shirt operation of funny t-shirts about dogs. It's called muttsorus.com.
muttsorus.com, which I actually got a 4th of July one, so don't go out and buy it because I'm the only one in town to be wearing it. So, well, we appreciate you being here, my
Thank you.
friend. Have a great day.
You too.